Set to be released in April, We Are Giants is a children's book about a young girl living in Portsmouth whose mother has dwarfism. Though the main character isn't disabled herself, the book tackles some of the issues that arise for children who experience disabilities, whether themselves or in their families.
Have you ever tried to shrink yourself? You would be surprised at how easy it is. You just have to have a routine, be determined, and most importantly, keep it a secret. The only person who knows about it apart from...
It's about 9-year-old Sydney, and her mum is a little person, and she wants to shrink herself to stay the same height, and she has to deal with growing up and the bullies at school and getting over the death of her father. Well, the book is essentially about dealing with grief and growing up, sort of universal themes, but her mum just happens to have a disability in the book, and I think it's about Sydney wanting to share in that identity, wanting to be close to her parents. Sydney's very shy and very imaginative. She can come up with the best plans in the world, but she can't always do them. Her sister's the brave one, the one she looks up to.
Before the idea for the book came to her, Amber worked with children with dwarfism. Indeed, her publisher even got a person with dwarfism to consult on the book to make sure it felt accurate.
Just there weren't enough books with positive portrayals of disabled characters where it wasn't about the disability. Just characters with disabilities in children's literature. There doesn't seem to be quite enough of that. So I think that was in the back of my head when I started to write We Are Giants.
And Amber says writing wasn't necessarily a natural career path for her.
I was terrible at school. I was really, really the worst student in the class when I started at school. And it was because I just couldn't read, and I couldn't read for the longest time. They didn't realise it then, but I was really very dyslexic. So it took me a long time to catch up with all the other children. And then when I finally did, books became this sort of magic thing for me. I suddenly started reading everything because I just could. And I think that sort of really changed everything for me. But I didn't realise you could be an author because I didn't really know any. So I put that on hold for a little while. And then I went to university and I studied script writing. And I came out and did a few plays. And I really enjoyed doing that again. But again, I didn't think that would be a career path. So I ended up working in a school as a TA. And I ended up working with some disabled children, and I'd worked with some disabled children as part of a charity. And there just wasn't any books for them. And I thought, wow, who would I be without the books I was when I was a child? So I decided to go away and start writing a book again, go back to the writing, and that's why I wrote We Are Giants.
A Portsmouth girl herself, Amber lives in Drayton now and went to Springfield School in the city. She says she loved setting the story so close to home.
Well, I thought it was really interesting. There's not a lot of books, and it's not a lot of children's books actually set in Portsmouth. So it was fun for me to do because I got to include like the sea and Portsdown Hill and the Fun Fair and Clarence Pier in the book, which was lovely.
The book is coming out on the 7th of April and will cost $6.99. Amber will be doing a book launch at Blackwell's in Portsmouth early in April. Charlotte Briere-Edney, that's Solent.